Friends, hope you're doing good, and this is video number 6 on ALV playlist. In this session I'm going to explain two different concepts to provide a F4 help for the user. So one is in the F4 help, another one is a Listbox. So these are the two things which we are going to see in this particular session. Again, it's coming under object oriented ALV, so we have different class and methods. Probably we might add few more new methods to achieve these concepts. Okay, let's get into the slide. So here F4 help, we have two options. One is through reference you can able to get it. Example, you can refer a field name and also a table name, then automatically this is in the field catalog level. You don't want to register anything, you don't need any event handler method for this process. So if you're going to give the table name and the field name in the field catalog level, where you are giving the row number, field name, column position, so in that there are two fields, is got nothing but reference table and reference field, and if you assign the value to that, automatically that will refer the F4 whatever is mapped with the particular field. Okay, so that is one option. If you want to give a F4 help, depends on the table and then field name. Another one is event handler method. So if the user press F4, then I want to provide a customized list of values for that particular F4 list, then we need an event handler method, because we are an object oriented ALV, so everything is depends on the events. Okay, in last video I have explained about the events flow. In that I explained that for OnF4 help as well, that is one of the event. The same thing we are going to use for the second option of F4 help. Customized values depends on your business need. Another one is list box or drop down. So we have an option to provide a list box or a drop down editable list box in an object oriented ALV, and very few business scenarios required ALV with list box as well. So these are the two things which we are going to see in this particular video. So the first one, reference field, this is the one which I am talking about. Field cat, this is structure, actually is a table type, and these are the two fields, ref field, ref table, and you can give what is the field name and what is the table name, then it automatically map the particular search help depends on this particular field. Okay, and the second option is event handler. There are 4 steps to be involved in the event handler level. One is we have to register the field by using a method called register F4 for fields. I explained this. I showed this in the previous video. This is one of the method. You have to register the fields first. Suppose in ALV you want 3 fields customized F4 help, then you have to register all the 3 fields, and this accepts an internal table, so you have to add all the fields along with the flag option, then automatically it will register. That is the first step. Second step, inside the event handler method you have to use the normal F4 if int table value request function module to assign the values to your F4 help. Okay, so this is one of the way, most frequently used way, this F4 if. So I am also going to use that one. Another one is selected value has been carried through a return parameter, because here this is not mapped with a selection screen. Normally for the selection screen, if you use F4 help with this function module, you have a parameter, you have to mention what is the dynpro field where the user selected value to be populated. Okay, but here we are in an object oriented ALV concept, so we are not able to provide that. We are not able to consider that is a dynpro field. That is not a dynpro field, that is the cell of an ALV. So we have to write little more code to populate the selected value from the F4 list to your ALV cell. Okay, so that's what I mentioned here. So whatever the value they selected the user, that is going to be carried with the return parameter only. So another one is refresh table display once you updated. So ALV is nothing but a representation of your internal table. So whatever you updated in your internal table, that needs to be refreshed in your ALV. So we are going to use one more method called a refresh table display. So that will automatically, whatever changes has been done in the backend, automatically that is reflecting in your ALV, in your front end ALV. Okay, so these are the steps to be followed if you're going with option 2, event handler level. And little more technical details. So for the second option, event handler, so this is the method. It's coming under the class CLGI grid, and these are the two fields, minimum two fields we have to be filled. One is what is the name of the field which needs a F4 help. Another one is the flag. And apart from that, we have few more fields. It depends on the requirement. You can able to use it under this structure. Another one, function module, we are going to use F4 if. So mostly we are going to use whatever we haven't used so far, like what is the return field, RET field, your field name, and then value org structure is going to be yes, and value tab where you're going to have all the data from the table you have to retrieve in an internal table, that is going to be here in value tab. So these are tables. These parameters are coming under tables option. And another one is the return tab where is going to be return the selected value from the user from the F4 list help. Another one is, this is the one new one which we are going to use, DynPro field mapping. Normally we use DynPro field for selection screen. As we are an OO ALV, we are going to use internal table called DynPro field mapping. So we have to mention very clearly what is the field name and what is the field that need to be mapped. Okay, so these are which we are going to use. And unique data, exactly. This particular method has a parameter of receiving this information as a table type. That table type is actually, or the structure is actually designed as a unique fields. It accept only unique fields. So if there is any duplicate, automatic goes to dump. So make sure you are not passing any duplicate values, as well as better you use append or insert, and make sure you are clearing the internal table once the scope of your screens gets ends. Otherwise, sometimes it goes to a dump. So to avoid that, and then that is unique data. So the next one is, okay, another one. Selected value has been carried through a return parameter. Exactly. So few codes which we are normal ABAP code, we are going to do what? We are going to read the return table. We are going to read what value it's got selected by the user. Another one is we need to update the exact row. Suppose the ALV displays 100 row and F4 is applicable for each row. So I need to identify which row the user clicked the F4 help. So I need to identify the row first. And for example, fifth row, and I had to read the internal table and then get the return value, whatever selected from the F4 help. I have to update the fifth row of the internal table. So it's very normal ABAP code we have to do it. So the idea would be, we need an importing parameter which has the row number, which rows got selected, that we need to get it inside the event handler method. So that is the idea of it. And then the last one is refresh table display, is also coming under CUGLA grid. 1 minute. It could be ALV grid. I think the class name which I given is a wrong one, I believe. So it should be CLGUI ALV grid. It's not CLGUI grid display. Give me a minute. Yeah, that's correct. Let me change this as well. Yep. So this is the correct one. There is a method that has a parameter soft refresh, give us an X, then automatically it's updated whatever I'm updating in my internal table to the ALV component. Okay. What else? Yeah. This is about F4 help with two options, reference and event handler. Another one is Listbox. So Listbox, I have a field catalog. There is a field called drop down handle equal to any number. It's actually integer. You can give any number. So once this field is enabled with a number, automatically you are able to see a list box in your particular field of your ALV. Okay, and then I need to add a value on it. So for that, you need to use a structure LVC S drop, and the field is handle, the same number you have to give. Why the same number is, suppose I need three different list boxes in the three different fields. So the field 1 I can give a number as 100, field 2 is 200, field 3 is 300. So that needs to be identified. The field is going to be identified with that particular handle number only. So if you want to fill data for the field 1, so you have throughout the value, suppose I want 5 list values for field 1, all the 5 list values, the handle value is 100, and then 10 list values for second field, the handle number is 200. Okay, so that is a mapping we have to do. And then list value, whatever values you want to enter, it may be from hard coded or from your database table, just fill it. And this is an internal table, so you have to fill it as an internal table. And finally there is another method called set drop down table, and it's coming under same class GUI ALV grid, and pass this internal table as a parameter to this particular method, then automatically the value is listed in your list box in a particular field which has a list box. Okay, so these are the theoretical part of F4Help and list box. So hope you might have a little idea about it. So we'll implement the same in my system. Okay. Okay, one more point, user command. Okay, the user selected F4 list box. What is the next step? So I need to get the updated data of OO ALV. So I'm going to use an event called user command. So last video also we have seen this user command event. I'm going to use the same, and I'm going to show you the updated value in your internal table. From there, whatever you need depends on a business requirement, you can proceed further. Okay, so I'm going to use an event called user command as a next step. Then that's it. Okay, let's get into the system. So this is the program which I am going to use for today's one. Is nothing but the previous video or previous concept events for the same program. I'm going to use it for here as well. So I don't want to start from scratch. Don't waste your time. And here I did only one change. It's like I moved out of this declaration as a global one. This is the internal table which is going to hold the entire data of your object-oriented ALV. So I just moved out of it because it's going to be used in two different places. That is the only change I did. And as you aware, like last video and previous video also, I have placed the entire code in my video description, so just make use of it. But only point is I'm not able to use any of the tag symbol inside the description. That is the restrictions over there. So whenever you are able to see this level is going to be, this kind of code is going to be like this only. Once you copy and paste it in your system, you will get an error saying that not able to recognize what is E object and empty toolbar. So after copy and paste, make sure wherever there is a reference, just the single arrow or double arrow, you need to add the tag. Okay, so that is only change you have to do after pasting the code. Okay, the first point here is I'm going to have a F4Help. Okay, let me show you the output first. So like this, I have a F4 because I enabled it with a catalog field F4 available is equal to X. So I have a F4. So if I press, nothing happens because there is no reference and there is nothing implemented in the event handler method also. So let's go to the reference first. So here what I'm going to do is mtart. So available F4 available is X, and I'm going to make use of the reference field. Reference table and reference field name. So reference field name is mtart, and then reference, sorry, ALV reference table is going to be Mara. That's it. Activate it. Okay, one more thing. For this kind of F4, you doesn't need any event handler method. So for the confirmation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment it, and I'm going to comment this also. So no registration of F4 also happens. So activate. So that is going to be just in the field catalog level. And execute F4, click. I will get a list from the particular F4 which is mapped with MTART table, sorry, MTART field which is coming under Mara. So now it's HIBE. If I go with laptop, just double click, it's getting changed here as well. Okay, so here there is no validation whether this F4 is going to be relevant for the field. So that is not happening in the by default. So if I give MATNR, yes, it accepts. So reference field is nothing but it's going to refer the particular technical objects from this particular field. Especially here we are looking for the F4 search help. So if I'm giving MATNR for MTART, that works. So MTART, if we click F4, it shows the MATNR search help. Okay, like this. So even it takes the value also. It accepts 4 characters. So okay, obviously I have all 4 character materials here. That's fine. Okay, just double click. Yes, it accepts. Okay. So this is the one of the way to reference. Normally we won't do any mistakes like this, but just for your reference. Okay. So let me. So anyway, I'm not going to use this. So this is one way of providing a F4 help from the field. So another way is event handler. So for the event handler, obviously you have to do a registration. So here it's this I explained in the last session as well. So this is the field, means structure. Here's a table type and it accepts the field name and then register. So if you get into this, I will show you 2 things here. Go to the table type. Okay, so first one is primary key is unique. The key category is unique. So if you're going to give a means duplicate field name one more time, definitely it goes to dump at the runtime. Okay, so make sure. And the another one is the structure. If you see the structure, it has few more fields as like get before, change after. So it depends on the need, you can make use of this as well. Okay, we are going to use only field name and register in this scenario. So that is the first step. Yes, that is done and added in the internal table. And let me clear this internal table because without going out, if someone tries, if I try, definitely it's going to add MATNR one more time in my internal table. Then while calling this method, I'll get a short dump. So here I'm going to use the same object. So this object is the reference of the class ALV grid. So this is the one. So through that, I'm going to call the method to register my F4 fields. So register F4 for fields and the parameter of the internal table I'm passing here. And let me enable my event handler method also. Now I need to write a code inside this event handler method. Just go inside the method, go to the method. So here the method is empty. Very normal code. Let me copy and paste it. 1 minute. So this is the code which I'm going to, this is the field which I'm going to retrieve from a table called T134T. It's a text table for material type. So I'm going to get the material type and the description. So let me go with the language key as well. So where SPRA is equal to English. Okay, so my data is ready for the F4 help. And then I'm going to have few declarations. So for that, let me call the function module F4If. So here F4If. Yeah. So I need some declarations. I don't want this. And no dynpro. I need value org. No, nothing from here. And no field tab. I need return and dynpro field mapping. Exceptions, let it be. Okay, so this is going to be structure and this is return field is going to be MTART, means the field refers, and value tab is ready, IT MTART. So these two needs to be declared. Let me go with return, and this is going to be F4 fields. Okay, so these are to be declared. Okay, so for that, let me get into this function module and see the reference of my return parameter. Okay, let's go to tables. Okay, so this is for return parameter, this is for DynPro field mapping. And okay, let me copy this. This is D selection C. Okay. So IT return, it's all body of an internal table, fields type table of dselc. Okay, and I need a work area for F4 fields because I need to add the values over there. dselc. Okay, that's it. So now I need to fill this internal table, F4 fields internal table to be filled. So first thing, WAF4 fields and DynPro field name equals MTART, and another one is going to be the reference, because if it is more than one, okay, we have an option that is more than one field has the F4Help. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the option F0001. So this is actually a reference. This is a format. Okay, so if you give F1, F2, F3 also, it doesn't matter because it reads only from this format only. Okay, I will show you in the debugging level. So only this is required now. Let me add the values. F4 fields to IT, F4 fields, F4 fields, and is the append one, so always clear it. Okay, we're almost done. Let's see how it behaves in the return parameter. Okay, then we'll come here and add how to read the value and how to update my internal table which holds the data of ALV. Activate it and have a breakpoint, then execute. Okay, have a breakpoint here and execute. And make sure you commented the field catalog level F4, otherwise it both executes. It won't give any error even in runtime. So it will execute, first time it will execute this and it will execute the F4 help as well. So I'm going to give F4, click F4, I'm going to my debugging mode. So here it stopped and I have 10 records to display, and return parameter is empty, and my F4 field has one record because I have only one field name, and then dyn field name over here. Okay, and I'm going to press F6. We'll see what is coming in IT return internal table. Okay, before that, anyway, it's a F4 event. It should pop up the F4 list. So here I just restricted with only 10 rows. So let me go with AEM samples. Just double click. Now going back to my debugging mode. What is inside the return parameter internal table? So here the field name is F001 and field value is AEM. Okay, so and RET field is MTART. So forget about the record position. Now we are going to see record position from a different parameter, not from the return. So return we need only one and this two, only the field value. Based on the field name, I'm going to read this field value to be updated in my internal table. Now go back to the code. It's not updated here because I didn't write any update code. It just came to the return parameter. So now what I had to do was I need to know which record the F4 got clicked. Maybe a fourth record, fifth record, sixth record, right? For that, I need one of the parameter from this method, even handler method, on F4 even handler method. So if I go to the definition part, here it is. So this is the one. Okay, importing an ES row number. This is the field, or it's actually a work area, and it has a field that returns which row the F4 got clicked. Okay, so I need this one. So go a little down. So let me get the data first. So read table from ITMARA. So ITMARA is my internal table which have all the data of my ALV. So I'll go with the F4, I'll go with the field symbols to update directly to that. So if I subbar is equal to 0, then read the return parameter, return into data wa return, so with key and the field name equal to F0001. Okay, so that is the one which I have initiated initially. So size subbar is equal to 0, then pass the value for MTART from the return value. It's a field value. That's it. So let's see how it behaves. Toward it. Okay, so this is a way which we are returning the value from a return parameter to the particular field of your ALV. So technically to an internal table, and again it's not going to be updated because I didn't use the refresh concept. So let me see what is the error here. Implicit index. Okay, where it is? Okay, over here, and this is my mistake. Index, because I need to know which record I have to pick. So for that, the importing parameter is es row num and row id. Exactly, I missed that one. Sorry. So I need to read the exact data, right? Exact record to update. So we'll see this again in a debugging mode, then we'll use a refresh concept to update my ALV. So here let's go with this record, probably 3, 3, 6 and 7th row. So hit stop here, F6. It should open a pop-up with a list of values to select. I go with the first one, 100, and let's see the index. It should be 7. Yeah, so it returns the which record it's got selected. The F4 got selected. And F6, these are normal, and it's going to be the value is going to be the 100. Yes, and it's going to update my Mara as well, internal table as well. The 7th row, number 4. I'm going to press F5. This got changed, but it's not going to reflect in my object-oriented ALV because refresh is not happened. Okay, so it's very simple. Call the method. What is the method? Okay, this one, set drop, or not this one. Refresh table display is the method. So let's go to F6. ABAP patterns. So these are the things, object oriented, like object OALV, class and methods. Continue. And here I'm going to use this one as X. Act toward it. So let me take out the breakpoint because we have seen almost how it works. Let's see what is an error here. Okay, I believe that is also declared inside a separate method. Let's see that one and quickly just move out. So here, please declare before after the class implementation. That is the reason. Okay, that's good. Syntactically correct. Activate and remove the breakpoint. Okay, execute. We row number 3. Select F4. I have a values here. Then I'll go with appliances. Double click. It's updated here. Okay. So this is a way you can go ahead with F4 for multiple fields. So only thing is multiple lines to be included, nothing big. So now I'm going to have a list box in my one of my field. So let me do it first. Have a additional field in my internal table. Where is my, here it is. Okay, let I have this up to, otherwise I can say okay, material group, maybe customized one. Okay, MATK, nothing big. So now I'm going to enable a list box for this field through the field catalog itself. I'm not going to have any method here. Simple way to enable it. Okay. Let me have one more code, one more field for, and this is material group, right? Material GRP. This is correct. Okay, correct. MAT GRP. Okay, and these are same. This is just a 10 is fine. Editable, yeah, I'm good. And this is going to be a material group, MAT group, and the field is going to be drop down dr dn handle equals some number. I can go with 100. Okay, let's see how it shows display in the ALV level first. Activate and execute. So I have one more and I have a list box. Values are not yet ready because I didn't write any code to add a value. So this is just a field catalog field which enables a list box in your ALV, and I have used edit is equal to X also, so that's why it comes in the editable mode. So then we'll go back and write a code. Before list, where does it is? Okay, over here I'm going to write the code. So before I have table display, I need to write the code for that. Okay. Some declarations needs to be happen. Okay, so here I can use it. So what is the structure? This is a structure. Data list values type this, and IT list values type table of this. Simple. Then write a code. List values handle is going to be the same value which you're giving in the field catalog. So that is very important. And then list values value mg1, so material group. So append WA list values to IT list values, as this is append, so better clear it. List values, list values. Okay, so let me do this one more time, maybe two values. So material group 2, and this both are belongs to same handle, so I'm going to use the same number. Okay, almost done. Then I need to have a method to add the values. Set drop down table. So same object reference I'm going to use. So go to Control F6. So these are the three, and this is the method. Set drop down table. Enter, and here this one drop down and give the value list values. That's it. Activate it. Then execute. Very good. Okay, I think I have used before the create statement. Very good, and it's a very common issue if you start working with oops. Without create, if you try to access, you try to use any object reference, obviously you will get an error of 0 error. So here I have created global, but the create object might happen after my code. So very simple. Got it. And let's see where that creates happens. So here is actually it happens here. Create object happens here. So better I will go and keep it my code over here. So simply after the create object statement for this object reference, simple. Activate and execute. So here you have a value M1 and M2. So whatever you want, you have to give it. So now the final one is if I selected and if I click close, maybe this is the close, it's a button, custom button. It has to go to the user command even handler method. I didn't write any code for enter. So if you press enter, nothing happens because everything is an event here. You need to register the particular event for enter, then only it will happen. So now I have only one event for the user command. So let me have a breakpoint and we'll see how the values which I entered or modified is captured in my internal table. That is very important. So to proceed with the further steps. So the registration happens for my user command, maybe in the previous video, and I'm going to enable a breakpoint. Where it is? Here it is. That's it. Let's see how the IT Mara is getting, the internal table is getting updated with the values, user entered values. That is very important. So here I'm going to have a value first, like okay, A B C D, and this one is going to be 1000, so 1 lakh kind of, it's fine. M2, this is going to be 4 M. So some values I just entered it. Okay, and click this close button, and it needs to be stopped in the event handler method. I didn't write any code for the update of my internal table. Let's see how it behaves in IT Mara, then we'll decide. So here it's stopped, then check the basic internal table which holds the data for OO ALV. So it's getting updated here. So whatever the value, this one got selected, these are the entries I have done, MG2, these are the things I made change in the object oriented ALV concept. Okay, so this might be useful for you to understand how the F4Help and Listbox works. Hope if you have any doubt on this, please let me know, play around with this, and thank you so much for your time, and see you in the next video. Bye.